Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to your first English lesson of the week. Now, we're going to start off with a retrieval question. Can you write me a compound sentence? Now, I'll pause the video in just a second so you are able to write it. Use these to help you. Okay, hopefully you got down your compound sentence or had a good go. So, can you write me a compound sentence? Now I'm trying to remember what needs to go in it, or what we need to make it a compound sentence. You're right, we need a main clause, a coordinating conjunction, which is one of these words down here, and another main clause. Now a main clause is a sentence that would make sense on its own. The coordinated conjunction would then join that with another main clause, which would be another sentence that would make sense on its own. So, my example was, I like to play football, but my sister likes to dance. So my coordinated conjunction is but. If I took the but out and put a full stop after football, I like to play football. That makes sense on its own. And my sister likes to dance would make sense on its own as well. So that's how I double check that I've written a compound sentence. Looking forward to reading yours later. Okay, now before I tell you what you're doing today, I'm going to tell you what you're going to end up with at the end of the week, what you're aiming towards this week. So by the end of the week, you will have had a go at writing your own narrative about the journey of the little raindrop. Now you can see the little raindrop on your screens now. And I want you to have a little think about what you've been learning about in English, or what you've been covering in English, what you learnt last week. You learned about the water cycle, weren't you? Now you're going to be talking about a journey of the little raindrop. So I'm going to read the waggle in a minute, and I want you to see if that shows shows the water cycle, or is a version of the water cycle. Okay, this is our waggle. I'm going to read it to you. As I'm reading, have a little think about what the story's about, what the narrative is about. I might have already given that away. And see if you can spot any features that are used, so any types of grammar that are used, or vocabulary that's used, or punctuation that's used. That will help you for Tuesday's lesson. One dark and stormy day. Little raindrop fell out of a cloud and flew faster and faster through the sky. A gust of wind blew little raindrop sideways, and in a dazzling flash of red, orange and yellow, he found himself inside a rainbow. Enjoying the beautiful colours, little raindrop fell through green, blue, indigo and violet before another gust of wind blew him out of the rainbow. Where will he end up next? Little raindrop landed in a shallow puddle on top of a large rock. Splish, splash, splosh, he said excitedly. Lots of other raindrops fell all around him until the puddle was overflowing. Little raindrop ran down the side of the rock and joined a stream. In the stream, he drifted through woods and bounced over pebbles. After a while, the stream joined a river and little raindrop floated along in the strong current. At times, the river was calm and peaceful, and little raindrop watched diving kingfishers and larger fish, especially carpfish, as they swam slowly by. At other times, the river was noisy and rough. He raced along rapids and dived down waterfalls, carefully avoiding the jagged rocks at the bottom of the falls. When the river reached the sea, little raindrop was pulled far away from the shore. One day, the tide pulled him back to the beach. He surfed the waves and crashed onto the shore, until finally he came to rest on the soft sand. The sun shone down on the sand. Little raindrop got hotter and hotter until the warmth of the sun drew him up into the air. It was cooler in the sky, and little raindrop joined a cloud that was already full of other raindrops. Little raindrop was ready to fall to earth and begin his journey once more. Now, I did write that waggle myself. However, I got my inspiration from The Little Raindrop by Joanna Gray. Okay. So as I was reading through that, I wonder if you noticed any features. Keep them in your head until tomorrow. And I wonder if you could understand what the story was about, or what it was trying to demonstrate, what it was trying to show. Okay, I've got some words on my screen, or it'll be on your screen. What do you think these words or phrases are? Have a little think. Okay. Now, these are all adverbials. Now, I've just realised if I go back, they've all got a comma after them, which would make them something slightly different, which I'll explain in a minute. But an adverbial is a word or phrase that has been used, like an adverb, to add further detail or information to a verb. They are used to explain the how, where, and when something has happened. Now, today we're going to look at fronted adverbials. Now, if I go back, I think that's what they might be. They are fronted adverbials. Okay. What do you reckon a fronted adverbial is? Now, I walked around my house silently, so I did not wake my brother up. The word silently is our adverbial. How could we make this a fronted adverbial? Now think of the word fronted, what you think fronted might mean, or what it might do to the adverbial. Now if you said bringing the word to the front of the sentence, so taking it from the middle to the front, that would make it a fronted adverbial, so well done. So my sentence would now be, silently, I walked around the house, so I did not wake my brother up. Now you might have noticed the comma. The comma is after the word silently, it's after my fronted adverbial. I've put a little reminder there. Remember to always put a comma after a fronted adverbial. Okay, so today your task is, can I recognise fronted adverbials? And your step to success, this is how you're going to be successful today. I will recognise fronted adverbials. I will recognise where I need to put a comma after a fronted adverbial. Okay, and then that is looking back at the purpose, the audience and the form that we looked at on our waggle. So the purpose is to entertain, audience is your teachers, and the form is a narrative, so a story. Okay, got a couple of sentences below. Can you identify the fronted adverbials in the sentences below? Have a look for the comma and remember what fronted means. Look for the adverbial in the sentence and then remember what fronted means. Well done. If you recognise that earlier today is our fronted adverbial in the first sentence. So earlier today I discovered fronted adverbials. And if you recognise that yesterday I ate lots of cake. So yesterday was our fronted adverbial in that sentence. Now, I'm really sorry I forgot to read those sentences before. But well done if you did recognise that. Okay, I'm now going to show you your tasks for today. So you can choose whether you're going to look at the Sapphire task. For Sapphire, you need to connect the fronted adverbials below to the sentence. Now the first one has been done for you. So finally is our fronted adverbial, and that would join with little raindrop went back into the sky and joined a rain cloud. So that's what they did last. That's the final thing that little raindrop did in the journey. See if you can do the first, next, and then. Bronze, your task today, if you're choosing to do bronze, is to see if you can put commas in after the fronted adverbial word or phrases in the sentences below. So your fronted adverbials are already there, the words at the front or the phrases at the front. See if you can put the commas in. Now, don't worry if you haven't got a printer, you can write them out in your books or on some paper, whatever is easiest for you. Silver, so you are going to add fronted adverbials using the word bank below or your fronted adverbial word mat. So you've got lots of different options here. So you might choose to use one of those in your sentence instead of one of the ones in the word bank. Now your word bank is there below to help you. Try and pick one that best fits the sentence and don't forget to add the comma. And then gold. Your challenge is to complete silver first. I've just realised I'm not underlining that. To complete the silver task first. And then you're going to have a go at making your own sentences. Now, your sentences need to link with the theme of the journey of the little raindrop. And you can of course use the sentences above to help you. I'm going to do one on the flip chart in this video. So if you want to stay on and look at mine, that's absolutely fine. If you're ready, if you're not going to do gold today, then you can go off and start your task. Okay. So if you're staying with me, if you're doing the gold task, I'm going to come up with my own sentence. So I'm going to make sure that there's a fronted adverbial at the front of my sentence because that is your task. The task is to come up with sentences of your own to do with the journey of the raindrop. It must have a fronted adverbial at the start. Now, let me find my fronted adverbial word mat. Okay, let me have a look. There's quite a lot on there. I'm going to look at time. I want to do one out of the time column. And I like all of a sudden. Okay. So all of, it's underlined it. So we'll do that. All of a sudden. Oh, what could happen? Little raindrop fell from a cloud. Oh, let's describe the cloud. From a grey, stormy cloud. Let's move that up. Okay. Grey, stormy cloud into a fast-moving river. Okay, let's just double check I've got my fronted adverbial in there, which I think I do. Change the colour just so you can see it. Okay, and I've actually put an expanded noun phrase in there. Can you spot it? Remember, an expanded noun phrase is an adjective, then a noun. You see? Well done if you spotted my expanded noun phrase. Now, if you are doing gold, the gold task, that is what I would like you to have a go at. See if you can write 3 sentences with a fronted adverbial at the start for your journey of the little raindrop. So mine is, all of a sudden, little raindrop fell from a grey, stormy cloud into a fast-moving river. Okay, see if you can have a go.